Nick Cannon admits he needs help after being diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. And of course, if you're new here, I'm diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. I did a video on this over there on my other channel about Nick Cannon really a narcissist. You know, I said this on my channel a couple weeks ago on the 14th of November. He admitted it on his own podcast to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Because I've been in psychotherapy dealing with narcissistic personality disorder for over 7 years now, I might know a little smidge of things, right? From the article in the Daily Mail, he said he always suspected he might have undiagnosed mental health conditions, right? I still don't understand it all the way, but I kind of always wanted to get tested for it. For me, in my own personal story, I've always known that I was different. Since I was like 8 or 9 years old. Since I was a kid, I always knew that my emotions didn't click, that the way I felt about others didn't click, that just overall, I felt like an alien in a human body, right? No matter how big a crowd I was in, I always felt like all eyes were on me. This can be part of the paranoia that comes along with it, right? He said, I feel like there's many labels out there, but it's like to be able to embrace it and say, look, I'm healing. I need help. Show me. I just embraced the mental health and therapy in such a strong way. Like I said, I've been in therapy for over 7 years dealing with this, right? I started therapy in October 2017. This is the very first email that I sent to my therapist, who I still see to this day over in Greensboro, North Carolina. Hi, I just wanted to see about possible counseling. I'm 99.5% certain that I have narcissistic personality disorder. And since becoming aware of it, it's been almost unbearable. The constant inner battle every day is tiresome and exhausting. That's 7 years ago, right? So I've been in therapy with the same therapist for 7 years, dealing with this, battling with the lack of empathy, battling with the delusions of grandeur, all while trying to like run businesses and be a parent and be a husband and things like that. It's wild. This is kind of my goal as well. He said to be able to say I'm an example for others, but also willing to healing during the self process works too. Like you really can, like if you decide to go to therapy, put the work in, you can be a better person. You can have a damn near fully functional life. I'm not saying all your relationships will be healthy, but putting in the work in, listening to your therapist, finding a therapist that you can trust. Like I trust my therapist. Like if you go to therapy and you have a therapist that you can't trust, you're not going to get any work done, right? You're not going to make the progress that you want to make, that you're trying to make, right? You're not going to be able to do that because you don't trust them. If you don't trust them, it's hard to open up to people that you don't trust, right? Finding a therapist or a clinician or somebody else, a life coach, somebody that you can trust to open up to reveal your inner workings, the inner workings of your mind, to reveal your deepest, darkest insecurities or your secrets or whatever is so important on the healing growth journey from narcissistic personality disorder or any other personality disorder, just in general, right? So the causes of narcissistic personality disorder are currently unknown, though childhood factors are theorized to play a role in developing the condition. Unhealthy relationships with parents are thought to play a role. Just that could be part of it right there, y'all. So for me, my father, he was in my life, but he was just emotionally neglectful, right? He just wasn't the type of parent that was going to validate your emotions or your feelings or be there when you needed them. So it was a lot of childhood neglect. My mom worked. She worked to take care of her kids and things like that. So, no. But dad was who I had the issues with, right? What helped me work through those issues with my father, even though I don't talk to him a lot, is because like I had to understand, try to find out why he is the way that he is, what made him neglectful, what made him the way that he is, right? Because I don't talk to him, I had to embark on this kind of like journey on my own. So I got on Ancestry.com. While on Ancestry.com, I found his father's, my paternal grandfather's death certificate, right? So I didn't know my grandfather, apparently I had known that he had died when my dad was younger, but you look at the cause of death, it says gunshot wound of a small caliber to here. So that's on a Monday morning, 5:30 in the morning, he went and unalived himself. And guess what happened? I'm figuring that my dad found him, right? And that traumatized him as a little 7, 8, 9-year-old boy in the 70s, 1974, March 3rd, 1974 to be exact. And there's really no therapy for no little black boys back in the day like that. So your father unalives himself, go to school. He might have unalived himself on a Monday. You in school on a Wednesday or Thursday trying to make just trying to make sense of everything. No therapy, just talk to the guidance counselor, I reckon, right? And that made him who he was. He grew up with that burden, that trauma, and it made him who he is to this day, right? No, I don't have any animosity towards him. I just understand where he came from, and it helped me release a lot of the anger that I have for him, which has helped me on my healing journey so much. Also, in that Daily Mail article, you see it often occurs in concert with other mental health conditions, most commonly including depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and other things like that right here, y'all. I have narcissistic personality disorder, depression, and anxiety. So I don't have the rest of them, but I have those two as well. So it's just, it seems like it always has a partner with it. It doesn't come by itself. This is a mini quest right here, but like he said, he said he was at this Thanksgiving food event. He was there with Tom Sandoval. I did a video on Tom last year in April. It's Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules, a narcissist. I'm not saying the Tom's a narcissist, but it was some markers going on there. Just a little mini quest right there. I'm not saying he's just hanging around. I was just like, Tom, oh Tommy boy. You know what I mean? I've been on this journey for over 7 years now, right? And you can see, like in the video I did on the other app about him, like you can kind of see how he's been living his life, how the way he lives his life is kind of him exemplifying the traits of narcissistic personality disorder without even being diagnosed. You can just see how he lives his life with the kids and with everything he's doing, pretty much everything he's been doing in the public eye and maybe behind the scenes. You just really never know. And this is not an attack on him. You can just see it because I'm just like, But if you put the work in, y'all, I'm not saying you can heal and get rid of narcissistic personality disorder because I've been in therapy for 7 years. I've made leaps and bounds in my journey. I'm gonna show you this letter right here from my therapist. I got this letter from my therapist last year in June of 2023, right? Where it pretty much just goes over the work I've been putting in and where I stand right now in my journey, right? Well, how far I've come by putting the work in. You see right here, during his engagement in therapy, Mr. Hammock has seen a decrease in his emotional dysregulation, anxiety, and depression symptoms, as well as growth in the wellness of his interpersonal relationship and impact on the community. Additionally, an improvement in his overall functioning, executive, and mental health is noted. You said I'm putting up. You put the work in, you can see improvement. I'm not saying you can get rid of it, and this is not to give y'all hope. If you feel like you're dealing with a narcissistic person, right? If you feel like you're dealing with an undiagnosed narcissist, that they can get better because they have to be willing to do this themselves. They can't do it to keep you. They can't do it to keep you around. They can't do it just to say that they did it. No, this is a commitment. You know what I mean? This is a commitment. It says September right here, but I've been in therapy. Y'all see my letter from October. This is over 7 years of this. You know what I mean? And my wife could come in here and leave right now, and I would still go to therapy. This is part of my journey. This is part of my healing. Like, I'm doing this for me. And because I'm working on myself, for myself, it's allowed me to treat my wife and kids better. It's allowed me to have a better relationship with myself. It's allowed me to just overall see an increase in my executive functioning, in my mental health. So yeah, shout out to Nick again, because I know it's like I said, asking for help in such a public way it sucks, right? It sucks because this is part of being vulnerable. It's like, hey y'all, I have this personality disorder that's demonized in society, and I know people are gonna like, well, Lee, you add to the demonization. Nah, but it's hard to do that, y'all. So shout out to him. Hopefully, he puts the work in. He can be better. He got a lot of kids to live for. You know what I mean? But shout out to him. I love seeing just men in general work on their mental health, because the more men that work on their mental health, the better off the world will be. I promise you. There's a lot of them. We're not gonna get started on y'all. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. Peace.